Warning. All subject matter is open to change and interpretation as TWS is ever changing with varying theories of gameplay. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy! Hello and welcome, fellow survivors, to another TWDS video. Today I am joined by Noah, one of our Discord community members, and he has a few questions for myself, and we're going to just kind of go through some of those questions and inspect his town hall. So if you guys have any questions as well, make sure you leave those in the comment section below. Hello, Noah.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Nice. What's up, man? So let's see what we're looking at here. Let's go ahead. You're Elite 7. You got 13k gems. What season are you on?
Two at the moment.
Okay, so is this the beginning or mid-season of season 2?
We're on chapter 12, I believe. Let's have a look. So kind of like mid, I guess.
Yeah, just getting close to mid for sure. So that's pretty good though. You're at 29 mil power. Doing well for yourself. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly dogs though. I got them some like saved up.
Ah, yeah. The dogs do boost up the power.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are quite a complex animal. Once you get them down though, you can really control a lot of your things. So, but like what are some of your first questions? What you looking for directions like what tier, like what troops, what tier are you on right now?
Uh, I am close to 7, as you can see. They're getting upgraded right now. Um, so I'm on 6 right now. They're getting upgraded to 7.
Nice. Okay. And then have you decided which tier 10 troop you're going to be focusing on? Because this kind of helps with your technology and such as you're kind of going down that ladder.
I think melee, because that's the easiest one if you're free to play, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I think melee is the best just because there's so many options for your chemistries and you get to actually utilize those chemistries with melee throughout your F1, 2, 3, and 4 a lot sooner than you would any of the other chemistries because it would require you to invest quite heavily to, kind of get some of those unlocked. So melee is really good. Just make sure you don't deviate your resources. Sometimes people get antsy and they start trying to like do other things. Like don't do a hard swap to cab
Yeah.
or sharpshooters. Just stay melee and trust in that process because in season 3 you get statues. You focus all your flasks into your
Yeah.
technology to get your tier 10, and then those statues like you're gonna get really strong. It's just there's gonna be a lull where you might feel a little bit weaker, but you'll come out of that as you kind of progress your town hall and technology.
Yeah, sounds good.
But
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so in terms of like getting tier 10 fast, what would you recommend?
I mean, most of the tier 10. So you don't. Are you a completely free to play player?
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing I bought was one of the builders hut.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, obviously, you have those zombies up in the bottom right hand corner above your exploration quests. Those are going to give you
Yeah.
8 flasks every time you defeat one, so it's another like 16 flasks. You can do that just about 3 times a day. So it's not a whole lot of
Yeah.
flasks, but it does help. And as a free to play player, you have to kind of scrounge for them. Every aspect of the game, offers different things for flasks, but one of the good ones is going to be your alliance store. You can get 50 flasks a week. It is quite expensive. I think it's like 1 million alliance points to max out each one, but you don't have a lot of options as a free to play player to get these flasks, so you kind of have to take them where you can get them. And
Wait, here, right?
yeah, so you can get the 5 in there per day in the daily store. And then there's also the
Yeah.
weekly store that gives you 50. And those are kind of hard to maintain early. But as you get further into the seasons, alliance points will become more abundant because you'll participate in more clan events. So being in like a top
Mhm.
3 clan power is going to be really nice as an active free to play player. If you can get the better clan you can get and the more active, the more you'll be able to kind of purchase these early Meyer flasks. I do see you got the combat medals, so that's good on you. It's only 10 per week, but it does help out. So getting those combat medals is nice. Um,
Yeah, sounds good. So should I be buying the flasks as well?
I I I would say from a free to play perspective, the only way to realistically get to tier 10 like and get there faster is going to be using every option available to you as a
Yeah,
free to play player to get these flasks, cuz otherwise, you're really just going to be it's going to take you a lot quite some time. And so I would get
sounds
those.
good.
Can you scroll up a little bit back to your weekly store? Back to the weekly store and then right there. See, I see you got the development medals for the legendaries if right above. I wouldn't recommend getting those. It's the one,
Oh,
not
I bought
those. Those are good.
these ones.
Those
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend those. Those will become plentiful. You will always have plenty of development medals. So using your points on that might not be so great. Um,
Yeah, I got it by mistake. I thought they were the combat ones.
okay, no problem then. Yeah, so that was just a quick little thing I noticed. I was like, did he get that? All right.
Yeah, I was like early up one morning and I started buying and I realized I got the development ones.
And then, do you donate to your clan at least 100 gems a day?
Oh yeah, here, right?
One more to the left. No, no, not those. Definitely not those.
But not those ones. What the
Not those.
ones?
So to the
Oh
little
wait, yeah,
flask. It's
help.
the second tab.
Yeah, yeah. I always help out when I see it.
No, 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 no. So that see that you see right next to the top left, there's like a little flask tab right next to the trophy tab, right
Oh
there.
that? Yeah,
Yeah. So when you click that, I see how you have five
yeah.
gem donations. So always donate 20 times per day with gems. It's 100 gems, and through your daily tasks and such, you will accumulate those back. And it's what it's going to do is give you that much more AP every single day. Because we look at like the Walking Dead survivors in like a like quarterly basis, almost semi-annually. Because you want to look at your progression. You can't look at it too hyper focused. You can't progress too fast. But by doing small little things
Yeah,
consistently every day, just like your workouts we were talking about earlier, that's how you're going to get your growth. So you want to click that
right.
donate button for the 5 gems until it ticks to 10 gems as a free to play player at a minimum, because you're going to get 20 extra clicks every day. And that's going to be that much more alliance points to go towards those weekly flasks that you can't currently afford because you haven't bought the cap. But that'll be a nice little quick
Yeah.
tip there. So I always donate the 100
Ah,
gems as a minimum. Like I would just smash that right now, to be fair.
sounds good. Wait, I have a clan legend to spend
Oh,
gems, so
nice.
we can
Yeah.
only get that on.
Very good. Very good idea. It's a great example of that as well. Yeah, Clan Legends, you get like the 1,000 gem pack. I mean, like the 1,000 gems is going to be kind of hard to spend a little bit, so it might be
No,
hard.
like okay with it because I'm buying dogs every day. So
Okay, so you're doing your 5 daily tasks then and knocking those.
yeah.
Those are
Where is it?
good.
Am I on the wrong one?
Yeah, go to the. Did you go to event when you clicked? Was that where you were? You were in the events.
I think so. Yeah, it's gift pack.
There it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, there we
Um.
go. So you do get like some
Nice.
sort of little rebate from that. The
Yeah.
as a free to play player, it's tough to justify buying the 500 gem like dog every day. I personally recommend 4 out of 5, like just doing 4 out of 5 of the missions, because as a free to play
Okay.
player, if you think about it, if you spend 500 gems a day on on that dog, as good as that daily is, that's still going to cost you 15,000 gems a month that you won't have in your pocket. And so as I look at it from like a
True.
longevity perspective, you're going to get those dogs up regardless. And
Yeah.
it's just it's too expensive as a free to play player in my personal opinion. Other people may disagree, but 4 out of 5 daily tasks is you're golden, because it only costs I think like 80 gems. Like do you know how to complete all the daily tasks like super cheap and everything? You buy like the 20 gem skill, you buy the um the
Yeah.
the green uncommon XP books to level up the dogs and everything. Like you've got that
Yeah.
down pat.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one to kind of build into your routine. Always getting the 4 out of 5 is really nice.
Nice.
You will get. So I also personally refresh twice the trading post as a free to play player. You do the free refresh and then you do the 100 gem refresh in your trading post, because then you'll get the Erlenmeyer flask to populate in that as well. You can either buy it for gems or resources. Personally, if it's for gems, I'll only get it for gems if it's like in the like 85 percentile discount. And yeah, you're gonna have
Wait.
to.
Where is that?
So go back out of here and then find your trading post. There's the lone trader should be like a little building that you have. Yeah, that one. And so
Yeah.
this is where I'll do. So I'll actually in season 2 you could probably buy most of the speed up stuff for just buy it because it's really cheap and they're good prices as long as they're in that legendary. I look at the you see the little discount where it's like legendary. Like
Yeah. The
you
60%, right?
yeah, you want to look for like 80% discounts in this store, and those are the ones you're going to kind of snipe out. And now, if you have
Right.
if you have an abundance of certain resources, like say you have a ton of food, you have a ton of water, a ton of wood or meat or whatever it is, those are the resources you'll look at converting to other resources, or you'll also look at buying those speed ups. Like your food should be pretty abundant, so getting that 15 minutes of builder for the what is it 65K food in the center there, like that's not a bad
That
buy.
one.
That one, yeah. Yeah, that's not a
Uh,
bad buy. But
yeah, I usually spend. I buy everything that requires resources, and if the speed ups are good, I usually spend gems on them. But if they're the good construction ones,
yeah, for
that's
sure.
how I've been doing them.
As you get later in the seasons, you'll actually be able to buy out this whole store. So anything that costs resources, yeah, you just go through and you buy it all essentially because you're always going to trade up those resources, and resources become abundant in season 3 and 4 ish. Like you're right out of like the famine, if you will. Season 1, everyone needs resources and it's hard to progress, but that you kind of like phase out of that and you can think of your resources like stocks. They'll just continue to grow. But this store
Yeah,
specifically, I'll use that free restock button in the top right, and then I'll also refresh it for 100 gems every time I log in and that I can't do it because you'll have the potential to get Erlenmeyer flasks out of this store for great deals.
these ones, right?
No, those
Or
are going to
just
be
the
your
flat?
speed ups. So, like, if you wanted to just buy the things in the store that you normally would,
Yeah.
if you would,
Oh wait, let me get the clan legend
oh yeah,
quickly.
yeah, make sure you do the clan legends.
Oh, I already have it up.
Nice. Yep, 4 out of 5. That's perfect because that's always going to get you your little rebates. Every little gem does count. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And it's hard to complete those clan legends too if you don't.
Yeah.
I think the quest did complete if you wanted to go grab another one if it's available for your next
Yeah.
refresh.
I didn't want to be annoying.
No, it's not annoying. It's fine. We're just chilling.
Cool. Sounds good. Wait, I'm on the wrong one again, aren't I?
Yeah, it's sometimes confusing. Something I had to start doing is really reading where you find them out so you can get into like the habit of where they exist. Um,
Yeah.
and there you go, Lone
There you go.
Trader. So Lone Trader
I was on the right one. Yeah.
Lone Trader was in the was at the events tab?
Think so. No, it was in the gift stat or
Gifts
the.
tab.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Teach me, teach you kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how we do here.
Exactly. Mm. So here, you wouldn't buy anything else, right? With the
Now,
gems.
I would if I was in dire need of like the 20% attack or defense buff, the 100 gems for that is kind of a good deal for that, but
Mm.
you can get it as cheap as 50 gems or 75 gems. So there is a small savings there that still could be had. If I see those buffs
Yeah.
in there for 50 gems, I don't even think about it. I buy it. But yeah, 100 gems, it might be a little bit pricey. It's not the best discount you could get, but it just depends on how many you have right now stockpiled for what you're going into. Like you use it for survivors at war, if you're going into a seasonal war, or if just anything that requires you to power up, kill like walkers or decrease your losses and rallies and such. You should be playing with those. They do last for a good amount of time, and I pretty much always have them running around the clock if I'm online.
Sounds good.
But
And
yeah,
then
then I would just hit the refresh, and you would go through the same thing, get your lone trader, and then you would only refresh this store, twice every time it pops up. I believe it is worth it, especially since you're scrounging for Erlenmeyer flasks, and there is a
yeah.
chance that it pops up here. I've had it pop up where 3 or 4 Erlenmeyer flasks, believe it or not, would come up, and you could just pop them all, and those are the little things that are going to help you get closer to T10.
Okay, I've seen so many of them. I've never grabbed them to be honest, unless they're for resources.
And that's
Um,
okay because you're really not that late. You're kind of like I said, you're coming out of that famine, like where things are becoming a more abundant for you in your town hall. So you're going to be able to look at options like the Erlenmeyer flasks out of this lone trader a lot more
yeah,
often. So now when you do see those, really seriously consider what the discount is, what your current gems are, and what your goals are, because those are going to have to shift. Like your main goal right now is Erlenmeyer flasks because tier 10 and tiers of troops are the most important thing, and you want to prepare yourself for onboarding those troops. That is going to make you substantially stronger. As soon as you get to T10, the doors open for everything. You can start farming everything that you want. Your resources go crazy, bullets go crazy. You're more competitive. You win greater rewards. So getting T10 is as quick as possible is always like first and foremost. Once you get to T10, then you start focusing on technologies, your dogs, your statues, a lot of things like that. So it's kind of everyone kind of plays a little bit different, and everyone's in a different place based on like their style and how well they've developed themselves to this point. Because if you're looking at someone's
yeah,
profile that logged in only 15 out of the 30 days of the month, they're gonna be a lot in a much different situation than you would if you logged in 30 out of 30 days that month.
yeah,
Which is why sometimes it's so hard to give advice. You have to have like the full breakdown And I'm curious. So you said you're going melee technology as well. That's gonna.
Mm,
I would like to see your research, and where what it looks like right now. How you kind of went down your tech tree. So if you hit your March Q1,
yeah. I'm trying to get these obviously so I can get the tier
yeah,
sevens.
yeah, you're good right there. I mean, yeah, that's a really good spot to be in. I mean, you got your hospital extension maxed out. So I always
Yeah,
try to
everything's
operate so that when someone burns me, I'm not going to lose anything. Or if they do burn me and I'm online, I can take a couple hits before I get wrecked. But
yeah. So should I be upgrading my hospital as well? Because they're not that high, to be honest.
how many builders do you have?
6.
6 builders. Okay. So yeah, I mean, so that's how I kind of do it as well. So I'll have like if I have 6 builders, I'll dedicate 2 towards like going towards my next town hall. I'll dedicate another 1 or 2 to like strictly hospitals, and then another 1 or 2 to like houses and such. But you'll have 2 like main quest builders basically that are progressing your overall town hall, and then you'll have
Yeah.
you kind of like want to think of it like a balance, like you want to balance these things, and you're dedicating like builders to certain criterias in your town. So you should be always upgrading like a hospital with 1 builder out of the 6 at a minimum so that you can sustain losses in the future when you inevitably get burned.
Yeah, that has happened a couple of times. So 2 for town hall, 2 for hospitals, 1 or 2, and what was the other 2?
Um I like going for houses because every time you upgrade your house it gives you trading speed, and it also increases the, you know, raw amount of troops you can build. So I kind of level up all my town or the houses kind of evenly, but I always have
Yeah.
one of them upgrading in my build queue so that I'm always kind of growing that March queue and the training speed, because you're going to train more units faster. It's going to be cheaper, and if you put the right builders in your survive, like you put the right survivors in the right barracks, and you can actually swap gear over. So if you have like an epic set, you can put your epic set on your melee training survivor at, during a
Yeah.
training event, and you'll cut off and shave off like 7-8 minutes per like, you know, batch of units that you make, and that really goes a long ways because that's how you get a lot of free gold chests actually. I train a lot of tier
Ah,
2
okay.
troops. Tier 2 troops are worth the most amount of points in the game for stronger
Tier 2?
survivor. Yeah, and then I promote. So I train during train events, tier 2 troops, and then I promote when it's not train events.
Oh, okay.
So you naturally build up your army through promotion, and then you train your tier 2 troops um like all in like one go on to get these like silver and gold chests, because it really doesn't take much. The tier 2 troops will take you a far ways, and then I'll go burn off some of my tier 2 troops with one of my friends or something. I'll communicate, be like, "Hey, you're around? You want to get some kills or some losses during like strongest survivor?" And then you just go smash like, you know, 100k tier 2 troops into their town hall, and you reduce the
Or
chances
tile
of
exchange.
what's that?
Or tile exchange, right?
Yeah, or a tile exchange, anything like that. It's one of those good things because I've trained tons of tier 2 troops. You know, I had like 200, 300,000 on my main account, and I would have to go burn them on my buddies. You know, so it was always fun, and you get kill points and such if you do it on Stronger Survivor. But what happens is if you have too many tier 2 troops, the game or the system can't really tell what is going to go to your hospital, so you have to be careful. That's one of the cons to it. You get like a ton of points from
Okay.
it. It's going to progress you,
Yeah.
but you just have to be careful of having that many units on you, because when you do get burned, you're not going to be able to say, hey, you tier 2 troops go to this hospital, and then the other guys, you know, your tier 6 troops will not go to those hospitals sometimes with the overflow. So you just have to be careful with
Okay.
it. But it is a quick
Yeah.
little tip trick that is very efficient, especially when you equip the right development gear on it. Because I see you have like your epic gear on your Sarah there. I would transfer that epic gear over to your Maya there. I believe it's Maya, right? Yeah, Maya will be the one that you equip the epic gear when you go to train and do this massive amount of units.
Right. So do I do it after I start a build or?
So this is what I mean personally. I do it like this. So you want to be able to forecast one gold chest per day, and that could be in building, that could be in training, research, radios, grabs. One of the categories you need to get a gold chest because in your daily tasks, that's what's going to maintain your gems that you're donating, maintain your gems for your dogs and things like that. Because you have to complete your dailies every day, and you don't want to burn
Yeah.
yourself out. People will do like 3 or 4 gold chests in a day, and then the next day rolls around, and they're like, "Well, I can't get my gold chest today," right? Like you'll run into that
Yeah.
situation. So you have to make sure as a free to play player that you spend these resources accordingly to the
All
like
right.
so that's the rule of thumb that I think in my mind. I'm like, I need one gold chest today. What am I going to get it in? I have a lot of research minutes, I have a lot of build minutes, I have a lot of training minutes, I have a lot of keys, I have a lot of radios, whatever it is. I want to just get one that day because that's going to give you your sustained growth as a free to play player.
Sounds good. So would you recommend going for one gold chest a day? Because I can do that pretty easy with the dogs. So
Yeah.
I think I could probably push to two on every other day as well,
Yeah,
if I
and
can.
yeah, and that's gonna be like how you gauge it. Now, personally, what you could do is you could get your one gold chest per day, get all your dailies, and then anytime a strongest survivor comes out, that's when you can try to hit multiple gold chests, and that will increase your strongest survivor rank. You're not trying to go for rank 1 or anything, but you'll be at least more competitive and you'll get more bonus rewards. So those resources are actually going towards something versus the nether. Do you know what I mean? By saving those
Yeah.
resources in that time frame, you can then go use those gold chests during a time frame where they actually will matter, and it'll help you get your minimum, amount of points for each day. So getting at least all the point caps and stronger survivors is super important. You don't really want to go over the point cap as a free to play player. Those are guys. That's a big expenditure. That's not a luxury that's offered to us as free to play players.
Yeah, I try to do the first three from the strongest survivor each one. If I can, I do more. Try to get the governor fragment, I believe.
Yeah, which is solid because you'll get that eventually, and you're going to go through a unique process though. So the fact that it's going to take you so long to get some of these Erlenmeyer flasks. Anytime you see an Erlenmeyer flask, you got to think, how can I get that flask? Because
Okay.
you need to get tier 10s, and you're competing against all the other free to play players. So the sooner that you can get those tier 10s before they can by optimizing those outputs of Erlenmeyer flasks, the better.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. And also, I was gonna ask you. So right now, I'm not training troops. Well, I mean, I'm not training the tier two troops for like an event, and I have my purple equipment on Sarah. Should
Mhm.
I transfer it to any other ones? Like, for example, Eugene to get more bullets or something.
Yeah, that would be good. So that's a little bit micromanagey, but like it really is incumbent on upon yourself. So like, how fast do you want to grow? Anytime you get a research one, stick them on Isaiah. Anytime you get a build event, stick them on Sarah. Anytime you are just sitting there and you want to build up your bullets, throw them on Eugene. You will have to kind of rotate your top end gear through that. I try to
Yeah.
build at least one full epic set if you can. Like if you could break down all your gear and then just have one epic set, and then you just kind of rotate that through your survivors depending on the day. It really will. You'll see those gains. It's just I always bring it back to that consistency and working out. Part of that gain because you
Yeah.
get the set bonuses, and it's really nice. And once
Sounds
you
good.
build that
Yeah.
habit up, it'll be easier and easier. It seems sometimes it can seem difficult, but it'll take care of itself.
Nice. Okay, and that makes sense. I'll fix this in a bit. How about for my formations for combat? Like, who should I put the purple equipments and stuff on?
Yeah. So this is what I recommend. Like this is strictly free to play build. You're going melee. You're gonna max out your hometown heroes before any other comp. That's just the way the game works. It's the way the RNG works. Over time, you'll get
Yeah.
your love triangle and your whispers, but you can't really like plan for that. So I would focus on having one really strong formation, which is going to be your hometown heroes. So everything,
F1. Yeah.
all your resources are going to go into your F1, and there are a couple different strats you can do balance, but I've found that the best way is to focus. focus on the hometown heroes, do put everything into them. You know, Militia Rick can be a little bit higher than the other ones. Then Morgan goes a little bit higher, and then Errant Shane is going to be your lowest one in terms of like a priority because Militia Rick does the most damage in the rear, and Morgan actually a cool little trick is you put him in the front. He's a better tank than Errant Shane, which is counter.
Oh, really?
Which is counter to what the game tells you to do. We've tested this, and it's pretty tried and true in my mind. You'll hear other things, but you'll notice if you put Morgan in the front, Errant
Mm.
Shane in the middle, and Militia Rick in the back, you will do far more damage to walkers and PvP, and you'll just see more success. You'll see more wins, more green.
Nice. Okay, I was thinking that because I have a friend that was around 700,000 power as well, and she beat like level 22 walkers, but she had Morgan in front, and I couldn't, even though I was like a higher power. And when I switched it, it did actually work. So I was actually surprised.
Yeah, always put Morgan in the front, and the reason is his abilities. When you think about this as like a line crew, like one, but like each survivor has their own bouts, if you will, like a clash. And Morgan, when he's in the front, he procs his ability and makes the entire group take less damage from his buffs, which is in his skill set.
Yeah,
I think it's like fatherly love or something, but
something like that.
it's really good.
Yeah, I was gonna open up like a battle to show it. Yeah, there you go. So here, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll notice it because it's all about those skills released and the order that they're released. It's really important, and we found that through just all this tests that we've run that Morgan performs optimally in the front, and that's how I run my teams currently in season one. I have a hometown heroes maxed out team that is just absolutely killing it. I'm like beating Ezekiel teams with hometown heroes.
Really? No way.
Yeah, so it's pretty
Sounds
cool.
good. Yeah, I was gonna ask you as well. For the houses, right?
Ooh, you got level
They take.
one. Yeah,
Oh my god, I didn't even realize. I forgot to upgrade it.
yeah, and like those are really important. Like it's actually good that it's level 1 because now, you know, you'll never be able to get a level back the points that you get from it, right? So sometimes it
Yeah.
is a strategy to keep certain buildings lower and then to pump them all up at the same time to either get gold chests or compete in Stronger Survivor or what have you.
Sounds good. So I was looking at it. For example, if you look at the 14, it takes like what does this mean? Like the threshold.
You talking about
Like
the veggie consumption and
consumption.
water
Yeah.
threshold? So this was
Yeah.
explained to me a while ago by Sir Hunter, and he knows it a little bit better than I do. But it's basically it's negligible. Don't worry about it. Not right now. I'll actually get you a better answer for it. Maybe someone in the comment section below can give us the answer. I'll refer to Sir Hunter exactly what it means. You can find more out about it in the top left profile. There's like a little production tab, and I'm not sure what it was. I think it was like some sort of. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I had known about it, but I'll get you an
Yeah.
answer.
Sounds good. Because I thought that's like how many resources you lose per like hour or something or per day. So I was like, I don't want to upgrade them too much, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, and honestly, a lot of my towns I operate in the negative food and water. It doesn't really affect you to have negative food and water, and most of your food and water will end up being in the storage from the events and stuff that you get from like your clans and such. So um,
Right.
it's not a terrible thing to be negative in food and water, and you can operate your
Yeah.
town just fine. It gets a little bit annoying sometimes, but
Sounds good. Yeah, I was worried about that. And I also have a lot of gems saved up. I'm not sure if I should put it into Elite 10 because I don't think it's worth it. Because it takes too many gems, right? What would you recommend?
yeah, with your current gems, you're really gonna want to just use this for your Erlenmeyer flasks at this point. You know, the elite levels are nice, and
Yeah.
if you continue to save, you can kind of plan these things out a little bit better. But like
Mhm.
the main things that people spend gems on, there's three things. You got elite levels, you got animals, and by animals I mean specific skills. You can build like an eco-friendly dog or eco build dog, which means like you buy all the blue skills first because you can eventually upgrade those later, just so you can have like a solid
Okay.
base dog. And then
Yeah.
the third one is going to be obviously those Erlenmeyer flasks because you can't really see any other way to get to tier 10s adequately. It's going to
Yeah.
be the only way they accelerate that time is by unfortunately spending those gems on those Erlenmeyer flasks. But you want to get it in like the trading posts and such to get the deals, get the most bang for your buck. You know. The Walking Dead
Yeah.
Survivors is a very patient game. You have to be very patient when you're playing, and it's always be forward thinking and planning as you make these moves. So it's good that you've kind of built up 13k gems. That's really good actually. And you could see like if you just start doing 4 out of 5 of those animal quests and keep collecting your daily tasks, you'll be golden.
Yeah.
You'll start to see those kind of skyrocket. It's like the more you save of it, the more it'll grow. It's an investment in my eyes, and just keep doing like the little things every day and try not to fall into some of their gem traps that they have.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. So speaking of gem traps, usually I spend buying these
Mm.
refreshes. Do you think I should do them or no?
Yeah, it's really worth it personally. Until you get tier 10, I would do that every day, 5 times a day. It's the best 10 gems you can spend in the game essentially because you're getting all those bullets, you're getting the development, legendary development things, and then the XP. That's a lot of bullets. If you calculated per month, you refresh that 5 times a day, and then I think like 2, 3 times throughout that day, if you're able to log in, throughout a 24
Yeah.
hour period, you'll be able to claim it again. So yeah, I do recommend spending your gems on that refresh, like super important because I think to
Yeah.
ultimately, I think it's like 4 or 500 million bullets to get tier 10. So you need those bullets. That's a lot of extra bullets each month that you'll
That's
get.
a lot.
Hmm. You'll get there though.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Sounds good. So I was gonna ask you. You mentioned until tier 10. Why until tier 10 and not carry on?
Well, after you get your tier 10, bullets aren't going to be as important. You'll start to stack those up. You're not going to want to get multiple tier 10s. Like you're going to be secularly focused on, getting your statues up and building the correct dogs and your survivors. Like and the bullets kind of fall to the wayside because the main things that consume your bullets is upgrading the barracks from like 24 to 25 or doing the technology to go from that special technology that unlocks the tier 10 that's to the tune of like hundreds of millions of bullets. But once you get the tier 10 unlocked, you're kind of smooth sailing, like I said. Like your everything's kind of wraps into one, and those bullets will be a lot more abundant after that. But it's just that first time unlocking those to get to that point.
Yeah. So when you're getting tier 10, I guess you'll get like, for example, if I'm focusing on melee right now, I'll probably get it way before my other ones then, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, so the ultimate end game, and as a free to play player, I'd say you're looking at like 3+ years before you would even think about getting like another tier 10 unit because of the way the game is. Like you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna get 7 star survivors. So I think in season, I'm not sure it's 4 or 5, but you get 6 and 7 star survivors, which is another thing you
Yeah.
have to focus on, which is what you should consider. So there, if you're one of the first teams to get like and save all of the materials required to get your hometown heroes to 7 stars, you're going to be a lot stronger than a lot of people. Those 120 survivors smack, and you'll beat out a lot of teams surprisingly enough if you focus on your gear and your resources in the proper times.
Yeah. Okay, okay, makes sense.
And I,
How about these ones?
yeah,
Yeah, carry on.
yeah, this is a really good one. So what this does, this has there's duality to it. I actually do get these as well. As a free to play player, I would say they're really good as well to get to max this out at least the 250 gem times. But like I personally would just get them every day. This is
Yeah,
one of those
perfect. Yeah,
things. Hmm.
I've been getting them for a while daily.
Yeah, because there's not a
Ever
lot of
since
ways for you
Elite 7.
to get combat XP, and this gives you 4 clan chests that go to your clan as well. It goes towards your
Ah, I
spending
didn't know that.
for the clan legends right now because you're trying to find ways to spend gems. That is something that
Yeah.
I did get for a long time, and this pack actually evolves at some point. There will be a season where this starts giving you even better rewards, and it's going to cost
Oh, really?
more gems. But it's one of those daily packs that a lot of free to play players do buy. And what I'll ask you to do though at the end of this is you should try to figure out like what your max amount of daily gems are per day. Like go into your daily tasks, say you complete all your daily tasks every day, add up all the gems that you could possibly accumulate from doing your, these regular events, and then you kind of see
Yeah.
what the gems are that you're spending to the gems that you're saving, and then that's how you're going to kind of plan out some of these things when you start like looking at getting animal skills and combining those things. So it's really important to know how many gems you get per day, and then just do like a month forecast, and that's what you look at. You're like, okay, I'm going to forecast myself out a month. If I buy this Shane pack, for 50, 100, 200, that's going to set me back, 400 gems a day. I got the other, 100 gems that I donate to my clan a day. That's 500 gems. Now we're not going to buy the animal pack for the 500 gems because that's 15k gems a month. We know we can't afford that on a free to play budget. So like you just have to kind of
Yeah.
think of things like that, like forecast it for yourself, pay yourself back.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I need to do that. I haven't thought about that before.
Yeah, it'd be really nice too. And always, and then share me your feedback because that helps me learn too. Be like, hey, I calculated, I went through every piece and bonus and event in the game, and this is how many gems I get per day. And then you can build yourself a free to play budget. And that's kind of just how it works. And it's really nice to set those little goals for yourself, those short term goals and long term goals, and it'll really push you further.
Okay, great. Yeah. Um, Forgot what I was gonna ask you next. Oh yeah, let's get into the dogs.
Yeah. Let's see what you
So I
got.
have some saved up. I have some saved up right now, just so I can get your help.
Yeah, this is really
So
good.
okay, nice. Usually what I get confused by is like I don't know which dog to put in which formation right now because the buffs are different and stuff, so it confuses me.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Well,
what would you recommend?
so first you need to understand that like high skill dog doesn't really mean anything. It actually means it's almost null. Like you could have a 13 skill dog, and if it's all in common skills, that dog, the chances are of that dog actually affecting the fight are almost zero.
Yeah,
So it's the dog, it's the skills of the dog. So right now, dogs, when you first unlock them as a free to player in season 2, you're really just using your dogs to accumulate stronger survivor points and survival challenges. You're trying to get those. It's a free gold chest, is what I've always said. So you're like, well, how do I get my gold chest today? Well, log in for your daily dogs. Your animal training is always going to be your best bet.
yeah,
So right now they're just kind of paying you dividends, and you just keep saving these dogs until you can formulate. If you wanted to go through, you can look at the three cheapest skills, like look at attack, defense, and health, and be like, okay, this cost me X amount of gems. Now I need to get them all on one dog, and there's a way to exchange, and I have a couple exchange dog video guides up for that as well that kind of help you with that. And you can always ask me any questions, if you have any concerns about exchanging something. But mostly, so this is what I found. People think they want to exchange like five skill dogs with five skill dogs. I personally always do like a five and a four. There's a method to the madness,
yeah,
and I can't explain it here. I just have to say you have to trust me on that. I believe it. I believe it's 100% tried and true. I've had other conversations with people that talk about like even lateral exchanges, and I've been playing this game too long to not trust my gut on this, but like always do
yeah,
the 4 and 3, or like a 5 and a 4, a 6 and a 5. You're always going plus one on one dog, and that'll get you the best
yeah.
results for getting the high skill exchanges. You'll notice that you'll actually get higher skill dogs quicker.
Yeah, I think there's like the probability, isn't it? I think it's true for the probability as well. I was looking at it earlier.
Yeah, this is a whole mess, man. Don't open this one. Yes, the
Yeah,
probability
like
chart does exist, and it confuses the shit out of a lot of people. And
yeah,
we tested this. I have a couple good videos on how to exchange like legendary skills and high level skills, but at the end of the day, uncommon skills will always be replaced by a higher grade of skills. So blue skills will never be replaced when you do exchanges, as long as there's a slot that from the pre-existing dog to actually transfer over a skill. And in terms of like just raw probability increasing your chances, we found that the uneven exchanges are by far the best.
okay. Yeah, I have watched your videos on it, so I've been doing that for a while, but I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right.
Yeah, it's looking good. So
So
you
like
just keep banking these up, man. And it's kind of crappy because like you want to get into dogs and stuff, but if you haven't saved up like 50, 75k gems at this point, then it's going to be hard to really utilize dogs. So really, the only thing you're going to do with these dogs is you're going to want to find. It doesn't matter if they're a 3 skill or 7 skill or 9 skill. It doesn't matter. What you want to find is like a high multiplier. Look for like one of your blue dogs that's like 6.9 stat multiplier, and then level that one to level 30, and then forget about it because it's going to increase your March troop. Like that one, yeah, like a 6.7. Like that's going to be a good dog. You max that to level 30, throw it on your F1, and then say, hey, you know what? I'll look at my dogs later and I'll keep using the animal training to get my gold chests.
Right. So should I not focus on getting a level 13 then, or?
No, no, because not really, because you're gonna want to exchange. Like you want to do this methodically. Like I have a 6 skill dog that's like 2 million power because it has 1 skill on it, and that's speed. One of the things that Solvian and
Ah,
myself kind of preach and talk about is what skills are the best. You can kind of skip some things here and there, but if you have the means to save for combat speed, that's what changes and makes and breaks your some of these engagements, because whoever has more combat speed in any given fight is going to go first when they have that attack, which means you're going to unleash all your skills first, and you're almost going to be like double attacking them, if you will, when you have more combat speed.
okay. Okay, so that's why speed's important.
Is probably the most, it's the single most important attribute in the game until it's not. So once everybody's on the same platform, like combat speed, then obviously other things come into play, like your stat multipliers for attack, defense, and HP.
Yeah. So I need to focus on getting like a high stat multiplier pretty much, and then get it up to a high level, and then use probably blue skills on them for now, and then get the legendary ones when I can. Is that so, right?
Yes, and then when you get to that point, you can always just message me and we can talk about how do you exchange it. But like I wouldn't even look at the uncommon skills. People want to look at them and think they do anything. I just don't think it's worth your time. I think that like this 6.9 multiplier Wally right here, you get that to level 30 and then just don't think about it for a while until you get to the point where you can actually start buying the blue skills to put onto the dog. The way that you want to level it up is from the grounds. You want to start with 2 3 skill dogs. Stat multiplier doesn't matter because it's always random. You can't control it. Doesn't matter if you put a 6.9 with a 6.9, it's not going to keep it 6.9 and above. Like there's it's just completely random number generated. It's all like a gamble. So you can't control the stat
Ah,
multiplier. You can only control the skills.
right. Okay. So I was probably I'm probably gonna use this one. There was a purple one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one, right?
that's the one I would use. Yeah, that's a good melee dog. It has good melee skills on it. So you lucked out that you get some additive bonuses there. Take that to level 30
Okay. And then put it on F1.
and then put it on your F1. Yeah. You can even
How
do it
about
right
now?
now. Like you could just name that dog and put it like call it F1. You put the little edit button, name it F1, and then oh, you not may not be able to put letters in. Oh, it has to be 3. Form 1. You have to type it
Perfect.
too, actually.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you
Nice.
go.
And then you
So
can,
how
yeah.
about F2 and F3 and like all those other ones?
It'd be
Do you do the
similar.
same or no?
Yeah, yeah, very similar. You want to look, it's kind of luck of the draw. You're just going off the stat multiplier right now because you're not going to really benefit from the skills from these dogs early on. They're not going to benefit you.
Okay.
Because
Until
each
yeah,
so
I put
each
them.
level, by the way, in this dog gives you 7 troops to across your all your front, middle, and rear. Does that make sense? That's how the stat multiplier works.
Oh, okay. So is oh, so that's what it means.
Yeah, so if you were to hit like +1 level right now, like front would go from 47 to 54, middle would go from 50 to 57, and rear would go from 46 to 43. All right, 53, sorry.
Ah. Okay. So it's based on the stat multiplier, how many troops you have.
Correct. Yeah, at least for this portion.
Okay. I think that makes sense. It's so complicated, the dog stuff.
Yeah, and it's just the little things you pick up over time. Like I wouldn't be over complex about it. You already named that dog. Like that's the dog you get to level 30, throw it on your F1, and then when you start looking for another dog, don't really look at too much at the skills. Just try to find something that has a good stat multiplier and then throw it on your other formations just to get the maximum amount of march troop capacity out of them that you can.
Yeah, what would you recommend as like a good stat multiplier?
Like 6.7 plus and beyond. So like right now, max we've seen is like 7.1, 7.2 potentially, but like
Yeah.
you really don't see those too often. So anything that's like a 6.5, 6.7 plus is going to be a pretty good stat multiplier. And even that, we're talking about peanuts here. Like six multiplier is not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's more important just to get the
Okay.
levels. Because you're talking about a
Yeah, I have
half a
a
troop
couple
at
of
that point.
questions.
So about a
Yeah.
half a troop for 30 levels, so potentially 14 more troops on on each formation, which is kind of a negligible thing. As min maxy as we want to be with some of these things, it's it's not too bad.
Yeah. Okay. So even if I have like a, say I have a 3 skill dog that has like a 7 multiplier compared to the one I have now, form one, could I use the 3 skill 7 multiplier dog instead?
Yeah, if that was possible, yes. In that example, yes.
Okay, okay, okay. That makes sense. So it's more about the multiplier for now until I can get the skills,
Yeah,
pretty
until you can get
much.
the skills. And when you can get the skills, that's when you start building your dogs up from the ground up. Because if you start with a 13 skill dog, it's going to be really hard to transfer skills onto that like adequately. So you start at 3 and 3. So one dog will have one blue skill, and then the other dog will have one blue skill. So now you have two available uncommon slots on your first dog, and when you do that exchange, you're guaranteeing yourself that you won't lose that blue skill because there's essentially when you breed it onto the other dog, there's two open slots for that skill to be replaced. It will
Okay,
always replace the lower skill dog, the lower rarity of skill
with the blue one.
with the blue one.
Okay. And eventually, if I get a level 13, right,
Mhm.
I will have to care about its stat multiplier as well, right? Or no?
No, because you can't control it. It's just you get what you get. Yeah,
That is true, yeah. So I shouldn't worry about getting another 13 because it's gonna take a long time, right?
yeah. I mean, getting 13 skill dogs actually is quite easy. You'll get a ton of them once you get into season 3 and 4, and you really start getting into the routine of doing these exchanges. Because you're basically just building out your dog kennel, right? And you're using it to they're like you think of them like cannon fodder. They're your free gold chest.
Yeah.
And then the level 30 dog just helps with a little bit of your march troop capacity.
Okay. So like, for example, now, should I crossbreed? Because I heard you shouldn't crossbreed at all. So I haven't been doing that.
Yeah, so that was kind of believed to be how it was supposed to be originally, but we found that they did since the uncommon skills mean nothing, it's not worth your time to consider whether you should mix or not. I personally mix. The only thing that matters is the number of skills on them when I do my exchanges.
Okay.
So I wouldn't worry about like purebred or mixed or whatever. It's really neither here nor there because you're going to build up a custom dog from the ground up when you actually get to building that dog.
13. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now you're just trying to increase your chances of exchanges and save time because it can be time consuming to go through and exchange your dogs this way. I personally batch exchange all my 3s and 4s, and then I slowly build up everything. But you're at a unique spot here where you'll do your 4s and 3s to potentially get 5s, 6s, and 7s.
Yeah. So if I were to start exchanging, I'm guessing I'll probably do the Husky with the Rottweiler, right? Would I start off like that?
Yes. Are you so the Can you just list the skills off for me? I would have to zoom in here. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see.
Okay. Wait. On the skill 8 Husky.
Okay, skill 8 husky.
And then I would merge it with this one, right? So the Rottweiler. Where is it? That one there.
And the Rottweiler's 9, so it's a 9 and an 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then I'll probably do like a 6 and a 7 because I don't have any other eights, or like a 7 and an 8, and then get another 7 and carry on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I think that makes sense so far.
Yeah. Once you get in the routine, you'll see it. You'll really do really well for yourself.
Yeah. Thank you. I haven't done the daily tasks yet. I'm waiting for the event to come on. The dog training one. Where
Mm.
is it? Oh, it's on now.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do some. Let's get a golden chest.
Nice. I do.
Um, daily. So not do this one, basically.
Yeah, I can't justify it. I can't say you can justify it because it's just as good as it is as the rewards. I mean, you're just setting yourself 15k gems back a month, and that's what you're going to use to buy your future dog skills. And as
Yeah,
long as you're maintaining those 4 quests every day, you should be able to get the gold chest every time, which already fulfills the requirements that you need. And the main one is doing like I use my cattle personally to learn the skills.
yeah. I
And
just
yeah,
got the cattle skill.
yeah, you just keep relearning those cattle skills because they cost like 20 gems, and you get that you save up those little skill boxes and you open them up however you'd like. People have some crazy voodoo tricks for doing that, but I personally just I like saving up to a goal. I'm like, okay, I want 300 animal skill chests. I saved to 300, and then I unlock them all, and then you might get
Yeah,
some nice skills. So
yeah. I usually open them as I see it. I get really impatient.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, man. Something about saving, dude. Something good about it. You save,
True.
and then you
Yeah.
open them
Like
all at once, and then you just get good stuff. Sometimes you get
true.
bad
The
stuff
feeling
though.
is.
I always put my
Yeah.
expectations really low, so I always just say like, I'm not getting shit out of this. And I click it, and it's like, oh my gosh, I got like legendaries. It's nice. So
Yeah. Haven't gotten legendary yet.
dream big, expect less. That's pretty much that's what I do.
Yeah. So you get these locks, right? Therefore your skill, I believe, to lock them in.
Hmm. Yeah, and with the
And how?
method that we were just talking about, you actually don't have to use locks ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're in full control of your exchanges, so you don't have to use the locks.
Okay.
Because every time you do, you're gonna have your main dog. So you have dog A, right? Dog B will
Yeah.
always have one blue skill on it. Let's just use blue for example. So dog A has 2 blue skills, and then dog B will always have just 1 skill because that's going to be the dog that you learn the skill on, and then you exchange into your main dog as long as you have done it the process right, and there's a place like a green skill for that blue skill to replace. You know what I mean?
I think so. So if they were all blue, it wouldn't replace it because they're the same level,
Yeah,
essentially.
correct. Unless of course, on the off chance you actually do increase your total skills, which is why it's important that you start with 2 blue skills, one blue skill on dog A, and then 1 blue skill on dog B. And when you do that combination, the hopes is so the best case scenario is that you're going to get a 4 skill dog with 2 blue skills. So now you have 2 skill slots to replace with uh, when you do your exchanges in the future. Or worst comes to worst, you're going to have 2 blue skills and 1 uncommon skill because it stays at 3, right? That still gives you a
Yeah.
landing zone for you to put your dog skill B with another blue skill and then transfer it over. Chances are you won't get a 3 skill dog twice. It'd be quite rare to get a 3 skill dog twice in this process.
Okay, I think I get it. Do I need to worry about this much now or no?
No, yeah, you are quite a ways out of this. Like you could call me back and whenever you want, but like honestly, we could revisit the subject and do like a little update on Noah's account in like 2 or 3 months if you'd like. We could make it a little cool series. Track it. You can track your
Yeah.
progress. But
Yeah, sounds good because it's like a bit confusing right now. With the skill
yeah,
stuff
you can
and
only
what's
take
going
so
on.
much in. There's so much to learn about this game, and they make you like really like go after the information, which is why I love this game because there is a
Yeah,
there's a gap in experience, and it just takes time to learn everything. Just
yeah.
keep asking questions. Like join the BrobbenTV community. You can ask any questions in general chat. There's tons of helpful players, and I'm there when I can. And you can always just message me. But I think we're going on 53 minutes on this. I think this is a pretty good stopping point. We can always do another part. So like we can schedule another meeting in like a week or two, man, wherever you want, and we can have you on the show regularly. So I appreciate you asking
Sounds good.
questions for me and hanging out with Brobben TV. And I hope you have
Thanks for
a
your time. I really appreciate it.
yeah, no worries. It was fun. I love doing this. So
Thank you. Thank you.
all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do you any exit comments? You want to say anything to any of your friends? Shout out to your friends, like any family, anybody you play with. You know, shout them out.
Nah, no people to shout out, unfortunately.
Okay, that's okay. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this theory craft session with Noah and myself and running this little town hall inspection video. We appreciate you guys, and you guys have a great one. Peace.